I'm just sort of saying, where are the lads? Where
are we at? Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, like we know where we are in the season in terms of what we need to do. Like it's very, very clear for us. It's like very much in our hands now what we must do and look after ourselves. There's obviously a lot of other stuff going on in the background, other people with other results and stuff like that, but we can't control any of that. And we'd be fools if we looked any further past the Dragons' Rodney Parade. And I've obviously good experience there firsthand, what it's like to play as from the home side. The crowd really get behind them. They're a passionate group of men. Like they love the Gwent region. They love the club. The club is definitely improving an awful lot of things in the background. New ownership that's been happening there recently, and when they're at home, they're a very, very, very tough side to beat, and it's going to be a massive challenge for us for sure.
Would you think in Wales that they probably do have the most passionate fans, that are the most behind the regions in terms of just the history of Newport in particular was a very successful club, and it seems that when you go there, no matter how they're playing or how they're doing, there's always a real push compared to when you go to the Ospreys, where it can often be silence.
Yeah, I suppose it's probably hard for me to comment exactly on that, but one thing I did feel always was the stadium's really on top of you. Particularly the stands are like right on top of the pitch, and when I was there when I was younger as a Munster player and I was there with Dragons, you really do hear them and you feel them a lot. So yeah, they're really, really good support there, and they always come out in numbers as well, in fairness. And I suppose there's a good connection between Newport Rugby Club and the rest of the Gwent region, and they do travel well, and they get in there and they make their voice heard for sure.
It's an interesting place to commentate from when you're sitting in the middle of them, I can tell you. They're not short of an opinion. Situation with how Connacht have set up. You had a new scrum half beside you on Saturday night. He had a very good game. Does that bring just a bit of excitement at this stage of the season? I know you train with Matthew Devine regularly, but for him to start the game and get on the front foot, and you're bringing him through, and you had Bundy outside him, I mean, he was buzzing. Can that energy transfer into the team, and maybe that's what you need at this stage of the season?
I think Maddie went really well at the weekend. Like he went really well at the weekend, and I was delighted for him. And I think thankfully we're very strong in the 9 position here. Obviously Caelan's been holding the fort for so long now and has been leading the group so well. Cullen was just coming back from injury, and he's kind of getting back into form as well, and he's been buzzing around the place. And unfortunately Michael McDonald went down with an injury, so that left an opportunity for Maddie to come in, and I think he took his chance really, really well. He brought an awful lot of energy. We always joked to him, if we're doing walkthroughs, make sure Maddie's crawling, because he's going so fast at all times. So yeah, he definitely brings a lot of energy, and that energy is contagious for sure. Like the speed of the ball, I know when I'm playing alongside him, like I can't exactly be looking out, organising too much for too long, because the ball will hit me in the head. So I got to be ready to play at his pace as well. And he definitely showed that at the weekend. And the 2 tries he took were very individual tries, but that's what he has, that bit of magic, and it was excellent that he had the confidence to go and do it.
And is part of your role as well, just to maybe give him a bit of advice at some stage, or maybe say, in this situation we're going to do this or that, because he doesn't have he has the abilities, but he hasn't got maybe the game management yet, because it can be tough out there.
Yeah, it definitely can be tough, particularly as a younger player, and I've been through that from a 10 side as well. And I suppose it kind of goes full circle a little bit. Like, you obviously try and give him a little bit of voice here and there as you can throughout the week, but you don't want to stifle what he's good at either, and let him overthink things and make him too much about game management. Believe me, I heard that enough as a young fella, and it probably stifled me as a player sometimes. You got to let players play to their strength, and thankfully we've a really good coaching group here, and they allow us to play a certain style of rugby that will definitely suit Matty and suit all of our 9s, in fact. And then there's just times in the game where if there's mistakes, or if there's an error in play, or if there's an area where its scoreboard is tight, or we're in a certain area of the field, then of course we sit down and chat through them scenarios. But yeah, he's a very intelligent player. We do an awful lot of work off the field, not just myself and the 9s, all the players together. We sit down, we review games, we review training, we talk about scenarios. So we're constantly learning and talking about things, and you're hoping then that when you get onto the field that happens automatically.
In your own game yourself, how are you finding it here? You're nearly 2/3 of the way through the season here. I suppose it was a big change maybe to come to Connacht, but it's it's going okay. And I mean, the URC now, there's a prize coming, but it's going to be a lot of work.
I'm loving being, I suppose, back in Ireland. I'm loving being in Connacht. I've joked around with a few lads. I was like, if I knew it was going to be this good, I probably wouldn't have gone on my travels as much. Would have come knocking on the door a bit earlier maybe. But just I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, the style of rugby we're trying to play. There's obviously been ups and downs, and there's been peaks and troughs, but that's rugby, and you get better at handling them as you get older. But in terms of just enjoyment factor and the lads and the group we have here and the standards that the S&C staff and the coaches drive, it's just been really refreshing for me and really enjoyable.
And you're going to a place you know, so what do Connacht need to get right on Saturday night in a scenario that's, you know, if you can bring what you did last Saturday in, it could go very well, but you've got to be very, very hot from the start.
Yeah, like 100%. We got to start with the right mindset, the right mentality. The Dragons boys, like they're big physical men, so we definitely got to be able to be at that level straight away from the outset. We can't be waiting and waiting to see how it's going to go and hoping that we'll kind of pull away at the end, because if we leave them in the game for a long time, it's going to be a very, very tough night for us. So we have to turn up physically, and we have to basically take the chances that we get when we get them. It's a game of rugby at the end of the day. It's always going to come down to a physical battle at the start, but that's going to be a very, very important thing for us.
Good luck. Hope it goes well.
Thank you.